Please subscribe and share this video with your friends. Hello, Dignity Daters. This is Marni Battista, and we are back in the dating den. And I have really, ladies, been working hard. I've been trolling the internet, television, to find a hunky, handsome, smart guy to bring you advice, and I have found Justin Bird.
How are you doing today?
I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so happy to be here.
You know, his picture was really cute. We did a phone call.
We did have a nice chat.
And he's really good in person. So, ladies, enjoy this one. Okay, so we're going to talk today about 3 things that make men vanish.
Perfect.
Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is, and I think this is interesting, before we even get into like the why, the fact that someone thinks a guy vanished on her when she only went on one date or met him in a bar. Why do you think women take ownership of guys and like they blame him, he left me? Like, what's that about?
They're trying to, what is that about? Half the time I'm trying to think, because it works the same way too for both of us. It's not just on the women's side.
Okay.
The women do the same damn thing.
Okay.
So they'll, and you want to know, you want that closure.
Okay.
A lot of people like the closure. I don't necessarily need it all the time.
Okay.
But I want to know why. Like, why did they stop talking to me?
Okay.
What did I do wrong? And you always think internally it's you. Like, what did I do wrong? And that's not always the case. They could have, they could have a girlfriend. They could be doing the wrong thing. They shouldn't have been going out with you. So it's not always looking at you. You don't always have to look internally.
That is such a good point. So here's the thing. And actually, I was, I interview men all the time. It's a good part of my job. And some guys said they just like to go out and get numbers because it makes them feel good.
That's so true.
That is true.
That is so true. It's a confidence thing. They want to know girls are still interested in that. And I don't know if women are the same way. They want to get numbers. I don't think like that because they get attention all the time. They're going to get hit on 5 million times more than men. So it's a little different. And half the time they don't even want to.
Right.
So
okay.
So that's different.
Okay, so the first thing is I would love for you to just relinquish the hold you have on these guys. And instead of saying he left you, vanished on you, or disappeared, it's just for some reason it wasn't a connection. So then you go, okay, great. So there's 50% chance that he just was not the right guy for me, dating someone else, whatever. Then there's the 50% about what can you change. So what is one, we're going to talk about 3 if we have time, but what's the number one thing that women do that make men put on their Nikes and run as far away as they can?
That's a good one. That is a good one. The biggest thing is, you've heard it 100 times. Right. Coming on too fast, too strong. Okay. It sounds cliche, but it's really not at all. Okay. You need to go in there with the mindset of,
He's so popular that his phone is blowing up. He's vanishing. Okay.
Speaking of running away. Yeah. Anyway, you just need to go in there with the mindset of just be you, own you, and not try to impress them so much because that's coming on too strong when you're just trying to blow yourself up. Okay, that's not what you want to do. You don't want to blow yourself up. You want to go in there and just be a normal person, be yourself. Right. Do you think people do that because they get insecure? Like, I've heard, have you ever been on a date where, give me an example. If you're on a date, what was a woman talking about that was too much? What was she not talking about? At this point, you're on a date. You know she's nervous because she hasn't stopped talking. It's like, the big L word, listening, is huge. Write that down, ladies. Us men listen. We don't always hear. Okay. So that's something, but yeah, they'll just be so nervous. They'll talk.
And when you're saying blow yourself up, you're meaning they're talking about how great they are?
Yeah, like a puffer fish, oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, exactly, like blowing themselves.
You're swelling, ladies. Okay.
Not necessarily physically. Right. You're talking a big game for yourself. You're talking yourself up. And that is so masculine, by the way, because we talk a lot about masculine, feminine energy here, and so it's very masculine. Like, the guy will be like, yeah, I hiked Machu Picchu, and she's like, awesome, I did it in under 2 hours and I didn't even sweat, right? Okay. That's so funny.
Yeah. So don't come on too strong. Number 2, you were talking about, you said negative Nancy.
Yes, negative Nancy.
So don't be like, rant.
I remember you like negative Nancy.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't be negative Nancy. Take blame, take ownership. It's not always, it's kind of like the shift that you always put the blame on someone else instead of taking it and owning it. Like, it's going to be your fault sometimes. Don't be that girl that's like, oh, my last relationship didn't work because of this. My kids are acting up because of this. How about look internally and try and assess what you did wrong.
So if you're on a date and you're constantly talking about like, oh, my boss was such a jerk, he did this, and then and I know like a lot of women who are divorced do the negative Nancy around their ex-husbands, right? So what I hear Justin saying is that if you are only talking about what everyone did wrong to you, then that is not sexy.
Yeah, it's negative. Us men view that all negativity. That's not something we want in our future through longevity. It's something that's always going to be negative.
Yeah, no.
Like, oh, my car ran out of gas today. Oh, man, my car eats too much gas. It's no, you didn't fill up your tank yesterday.
I love that. So these are all really important though, because I say all the time that you're talking about things on dates or in interactions that because when I ask women like, are you negative? They'll be like, no, I'm not negative. I'm a really positive person.
Negative people don't get it.
Right.
They're so negative, they're blocked by that. They don't get it.
Okay. The third thing is about invading boundaries. Now, I have a funny story about this. So my fiance, by the time this airs, he could be my husband, is British. And in the UK, they call it a nosy paka.
A nosy paka.
Nosy paka. So he'll be like, and we're like been together for 5 years, but I still do this. So I see him like sending a text or sending an email, and I swear to God, it's like, I think it's a chick thing. I'm like,
it's so is a chick thing.
I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, nosy paka. What are you doing?
Nosy paka.
So we've been together 5 years. Clearly, I wasn't doing that when we were dating, or else he would have gotten those hankies. But tell me about that on a date when people are a little invading the boundaries.
Yeah, so when you're on a date, I need like the whole invading the boundaries thing. I think that's huge, and it's very applicable to any type of date you go on. If you're next to your date, I've had text. I don't answer my phone during the. Number one, don't talk on the phone. Don't text when you're on a date. That is rude.
Don't be like, selfie. Let's post it.
And if you have to, excuse yourself. Hey, this is important. Whatever it may be, but. I think it's just in the women gene too. They just have to take a little peek over who's he texting, and us guys kind of can do the same thing.
Right.
But you guys are information gatherers, so you want to know what's going on at all times, and I get that. But there's also, in terms of just not being on a date, the invading boundaries is sometimes you don't want to invite, the girl you're dating over because she might want to stay the night. She might overstay her welcome. Overstaying a welcome is another thing us guys. Kind of, it deters us from hanging out with you.
Overstaying the welcome.
Yeah, if we want to just hang out for a couple hours and that's all we have.
And you never leave.
It's like, some girls, are going to stay for 4 or 5 hours. It's a 5-hour thing. It's not just a 1-hour thing. It works the same way for guys.
Okay, so before we go, what are some signs he wants you to leave? And it doesn't mean he might like you, but it's just like a lot, especially if it's a guy who's more of like an introverted personality, like. Yeah. So what are some signs he wants you to leave?
Most of the signs are going to be excuses. They're going to have to come up with an excuse, like a nice reason of something he has to do that night, something early morning, which might be valid. You never know. I don't know if he's making an excuse or not.
I would say, like, my best advice would be leave him wanting more.
Totally.
So when you get that thing, like, should I stay or should I go? Or I've been here a long time, or what time is it? Just you initiate the leave.
That's a very good point.
Initiate
Beat him to it.
Yeah.
Beat him to it. If you can sense it, I mean, you want to spend more time with them, but Marni hit it on the nose. Leave them wanting more. Everyone wants that. It still keeps the excitement.
Yes. And then he'll be like, what? Oh, I hope she likes me. She left. Okay. So I was so excited about Justin Bird. I didn't even tell you why he's here. He's the assistant on the Millionaire Matchmaker.
That's right.
Here, I've almost touched Patty Stanger. Okay.
So close. Arm's length.
Exactly. So come back. We're going to have more from Justin in future episodes. I'm so happy to be back. I love you. Mwah. We'll see you soon. Oh, and don't forget, #DatingDen. And you can follow me on Twitter at Marni Battista. And if you have any questions for Justin, what's your how can they find you on Twitter?
You can find my website's Justin Bird Official, and then on Twitter it's Justin Bird TMM, Instagram Justin Bird Official. And
just say like, you were cute and I want to know this, because men like to know.
That's all you need to say.
Justin, you were cute on the Dating Den. Bye, you guys.
Take care.